Okay, it is that time, and all I am waiting for now is Rob, who I am hoping shall be here any moment. So we will see. And hopefully, we shall have an ironic resolution to certain things. Speak of the Rob, and he will appear.
Of the devil.
Well, I said the Rob, not the devil. I don't
That's
think you're the
fine.
devil.
That's
Somebody's got a bit of an echo. I don't know if it's me or you.
Hold on. I think it's me. Hold on. There we go.
All right, let's see if we still get that echo. Might be me.
No, we lost it now. Wait, let me.
Weird. I can still hear it. I can still hear it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if it's my system or not. Don't really care though.
Hold
Well,
on.
how are you, Rob?
I'm good. Hold on. Let me make sure that I can. Audio. Is that better?
Don't hear the echo now.
Okay, good.
Maybe it's just my mic. I don't know.
Echo cancellation.
What, for you or for me?
I clicked it.
Oh, okay. Oh,
So
okay.
we're good to go.
All right.
So there's
Well,
nothing really that you can offer me, but you had mentioned something about videos that
all
I
I'm
have
saying,
up that you want to have removed.
all I'm saying, Rob, is that Bill and Andy put down their guns. So if they put down their guns, what's the point in continuing all of this?
What guns are you talking about?
Well, they're not coming after me anymore. They're not making videos calling me a potato pedophile. There's
Right.
not, 60 billion sock accounts running around,
Right.
including, and I will say this, apparently there are sock accounts of you. I don't know whose they are, but they're definitely not mine. I don't have any sock accounts anymore.
Right. Well, I don't have any videos up of you accusing you of being a pedo, and I have not put up anything like that of late. So, what can you point out the actual videos that have
Well,
taken umbrage with?
all I'm saying is that if you're not, if how do I put it? You're not in the streams on. I guess it's now Good News Gospel something. It was originally Good News Gospel streaming. He changes his names around. Those streams are down, so I don't care about that. There are certain
Well, I
communities,
can't. Something that I have control over, Ryan.
right, and I'm driving to that. I'm driving to that. There are certain community posts that could come down, and I've taken down those on my end. And as far as I'm concerned, uh, let's see, there's a few of them that were showing private messages that occurred between you and I. I
Right.
never put those out there, so I would
Well, you
appreciate.
realize why I did, right?
Well, I can guess your motives, but at this point, I'm just saying, look,
Well, let me just tell you why would it be a motive? What do you think my motive was?
you tell me.
When I put up a video where you said that I was a blessing to you, what motive do you think I had to put that up?
Well, I don't know why you would put out a private conversation like that, but perhaps it was to
Well, I
deceive.
thought it was nice. Isn't it nice that you found me to be a blessing?
Well, at one time, yes,
The reason
perhaps.
that I posted that was because you went out and I can't remember if it was a video or if you made a community tab post that said that I was among those who had been harassing you continually for, I believe you said, 5 years.
Well, perhaps we will say this. In the heat of it all, there are some of those people that were participating in that.
I'm just talking about you and me right now, Ryan.
Right, I know, but I'm saying in the heat of the moment, if you're talking about that community post, then yeah, I can definitely see there are a certain collection of people as a group throwing you in there. Is that per se fair to you?
No, they didn't throw me in there. You did.
No, I'm saying, well, I'm talking about me.
Yeah, no, I hope. I'm not understanding you then
Well,
because,
then let me see if I can be a little more concise. If you had a bunch of different people coming after you all of a sudden, or it feels this way,
right.
then what do? You look on the board and you see, well, there's these several guys that are
Mm hmm.
always together.
Mm hmm.
So all I know is that they're coming after me.
Okay.
Ergo, it looks like all of them are coming after me. And I know three of them in particular, you probably know the ones I mean,
Mm hmm.
have had a history of coming after me pretty regularly. Therefore, it would seem, at least to someone who's on the other end of this, that all of them are coming at once.
Yeah, but why would I be in that lump?
Well, let's put it this way. Uh, there were only certain people on those streams, and I don't mind saying their names, but one of them was you.
Right. And so you got, did I say anything, let's say before October of
2021.
2021, what did I say about you on a stream?
In fairness, I don't think very much. As I recall, we hadn't really had much contact with each other.
All right, then what do you think, what did I say to you as of August 2021 when you posted the video to Bruce saying that I was using him as a spy? What
I can't
information did you
recall.
have for that?
I honestly, I can't recall at this point. It's been
So
what,
you don't remember? I
2 years?
mean, you made the accusation that I was using Bruce as a spy, and so
Hmm.
what? We never have addressed that. So what did that mean? Because that's what set me off.
Okay, so that's what set you off. All
Well,
right.
that set me off, but I held on to it for a while until you started getting ornery with some other people.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you
Well,
did that in
let's put
August. You
it.
did that more than 3 months before I called you a rhymes with Hunt.
Well, if you're going to say it, then you're going to say it, Rob. I mean, at
What, the
this point, we're
word?
talking. If
No,
we're
no,
going
no.
to,
It's
if
not a
we're
word
talking,
that I like to use, but when it applies, as it did particularly at that time, it was appropriate.
well, there's also the issue of what hate crimes are. But I mean,
Which
I'm
is
going
a
to.
good no, no. I think we should discuss that. I'm glad that you brought that up. Actually, do you
Well,
know do you know the
I'm at the
Louisiana
little.
statute for hate crimes?
Not off the top of my head. I don't
All right.
remember.
Well, it's
At
it's
one time, I had it
66.
right.
It's 66.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you want to look at it?
At this point, Rob, I don't think we need to do so.
I think it's
I'm
important because you just again reiterated the accusation that I was committing a hate crime by
No, I'm not
calling you.
reiterating an accusation, Rob.
Well, you
I'm
you
saying
you believe that
I'm
it's you.
beyond I'm beyond all of this
I
now.
think it's helpful though if we're going to get to brass tacks
Well,
here.
okay, do you have the text of
Yeah,
the
I'm gonna
statute
find it, and
here?
I'll see if I can share
I
it.
can throw it on the screen if you have it. I don't know if you are
Hold
at
on,
work or whatever.
I know it's here somewhere. Let's see, hate crime
Because look,
statute,
while you're looking that up, I'll
Louisiana.
say this: on both sides, if we reflect on everything that was said, at least everything I can remember,
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that we did a good job in any capacity on either side. Because frankly, we all said stuff we should not have said, no
I
matter.
all I know is I had said nothing to you. There were some emails that I was ignoring. I think you had called me a couple times too, and I ignored it. And the
I
reason
may
was,
have, I don't remember.
yeah, that you were sending me emails related to I think Bill at the time, and then you sent me an email also that said why I don't understand why you hang out with Bruce. I think you had said something like that, something
Well,
in
I
reference
mean,
there.
I'm not saying I did or I didn't. I'm saying I don't remember every single email I sent from that time. Not saying I didn't. I honestly don't remember. Probably happened, but I can't say I remember.
But you believe that it's a hate crime to call someone a hunt rhymes with hunt with a K if they're
Hmm.
disabled.
Hmm.
You believe that?
Well, I mean, if you have the text of the statute and you want to talk about
I'm
that, we
trying to find it. It's like it's so funny. It's like I don't know if this is God telling me no, don't bother with it, but I do want to bother with
well,
it.
I
So
mean, frankly, Rob, my whole thing with this is that I see this whole thing as done and dusted, as the English say. If
which I'm fine about. I wasn't making any videos about you. You were starting to make more videos. You've when you came back with this channel, you did a video addressed to me. I hadn't done any videos addressed to you.
which, in fairness, yes, that is true. In fairness, that is true. And honestly, frankly, the only reason I started up this channel is that the other channel I've got, YouTube has completely locked anyone, not just me, everyone out of that channel. So good luck trying to get into it. I tried.
Darn it. I'm looking. It won't let me in. I know it's 66 revised statutes.
Maybe I can find it.
No, I think I found it. Yeah. It's giving me
Weird.
extortion.
I think that is the extortion statute, but I haven't read that kind of stuff in a
No,
while.
there's an actual hate crime statute. I'm just going to put hate
Yeah, I
crime.
know that there is. I just don't remember which one it is.
No, I guess it's 107.2 in 14. Yeah, so maybe this is, I've been looking for the wrong one. I think extortion, like when you threaten somebody that if they don't do something and then you're going to do something in return. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's
I'm
probably why I
afraid.
was looking at that. Yeah, here's hate crime. I think I found it. But this is 2006. I think it was updated in 2018.
I
So hold on.
seen. Yeah, that sounds about right. Sounds about right.
Here's 2019, I think. Yeah, I can share this. Let's see if I can do that. All right, I have it there.
Is that it? Let's
Yeah.
see. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, it shall be unlawful for any person to select the victim of the following offenses against person and property because of actual or perceived. Okay, and so we're gonna find where you want to where it would apply to you. Let's see. There it is. Disability. Right.
Hmm.
It shall be unlawful for any person to select the victim of the following offenses against person or property because of actual or perceived disability. So if somebody attacks you because of your disability, and the neat thing about the Louisiana statute is it actually gives you a laundry list of instances. So if somebody commits against somebody because of their disability, first or second degree murder. So let's go over each one of these to make sure that I didn't do it. So by calling you a rhymes with hunt, first off, let's assume that had something to do with your disability. Did it also involve first or second degree murder?
I don't think you're a murderer, Rob.
All right. Well, you can chart. We
I
can cut. We can.
highly doubt you'd be sitting a free
All right.
man.
Then we can cross that one out. All right. Manslaughter.
No, I don't think that would apply
All
per
right.
se.
Battery.
Well, you did
Aggravated. Aggravated. Wait. No. Go ahead. Battery.
no because you've not made any kind of physical. You've made threats, but there have been no physical kind of action.
Threats because of your disability.
No, not necessarily.
Okay. Aggravated battery.
Not. Don't think so.
Second degree battery.
Don't think so.
How about aggravated assault with a firearm?
It's kind of hard to picture that, honestly. But no.
Terrorizing?
I wonder what terrorizing is defined to be. I don't
What
know.
what definition do you think I terrorized you by your
No, I'm
definition?
not. I'm not talking about you. I'm
Well, I'm saying,
wondering.
is there any? Well, I mean, this is as it relates to me calling you a hunt rhymes with hunt.
I'm just saying. I'm
Would you
curious what
consider
I'm
that
saying.
like terrorizing you?
It would depend on how it's defined. I don't know.
All right. Well, but it's possible. So this might be the part. I just want to find out where I have, because you talked to criminal defense attorneys. You said, right, and they said I'm in hot water. That's why I want to double check. So maybe this is they think that me calling you a hunt with a K qualifies as terrorizing. You think? All
I
right.
didn't
Well,
say it did.
well,
I'm
let's.
saying
Well, I mean,
honestly
your criminal. Do you remember what your criminal defense attorney friends had said?
wasn't per se a criminal defense attorney.
Well, you said that. You said I was in real hot water in the video that you just made.
Well, yeah, I remember the video I made, Rob. I mean, really, look.
All right. Well, let me. I want to make sure. Because I want to do everything I can to make sure that I don't want to get into trouble. I want to make sure.
Well, Rob,
I'll settle it and
saying,
make sure to. So let's keep going. So, did I calling you a hunt with a K? Did that involve mingling harmful substances?
I don't think so.
Simple or third degree rape?
Yeah, I don't think that ever happened.
Forcible or second degree rape?
No,
Aggravated or first degree rape?
no,
Sexual battery?
no. I don't think so.
Second degree sexual battery?
No,
Oral sexual battery?
no,
Carnal knowledge of a juvenile?
no. I mean, I don't know how that would even be possible.
Indecent behavior with juveniles? I just want to make sure we can cross them all out. We're still
No,
terrorizing the only one we got. Molestation of a juvenile or a person with a physical or mental disability.
no molestation occurred, obviously.
All right. Simple second degree or aggravated kidnapping. Did I kidnap you in the process? Simple or
No,
aggravated arson. Did I light anything on fire?
I don't recall that.
Did I communicate false information of a planned arson,
I don't see you doing that. No.
simple or aggravated criminal damage to property.
Don't have any knowledge of you doing that.
Did I contaminate any of your water supply?
No, I don't think so.
Simple or aggravated burglary?
Yeah, that's kind of hard to picture the idea of you coming all the way over here to steal something.
Well, I mean, I'm just wondering what your guys said, what you told them. Criminal trespass?
Whoa. Rob, I would put it this way.
Yeah.
I'm just willing to put it aside. That's
Yeah, well, I just want to make,
mainly my
but well,
thing.
but if I don't want to put it aside, you've said that you're gonna. I'm in deep
Well,
water.
no, Rob, I'm not saying I
Simple
want.
first
What I'm
degree.
really
Let's just finish this up. We're almost done. Simple first degree or armed robbery.
don't recall you ever committing
Did
any of
did I
those.
snatch a purse or like a
No,
knife on your
no.
neck? Okay, extortion.
Extortion. Don't think so. And you've not stolen from me,
I
nor
didn't say like
great.
you're gonna accept me calling you a hunt with a K, or I'm gonna do something to you.
Not specific to that very instance.
Oh, but how about related to your disability? Like, I'm
No,
gonna
I
tell
don't. I
people
don't.
you have cerebral palsy unless you pay me $500.
Well, I don't even know how you could make that work, but no, I don't remember you
All
making
right.
that
Well, as long as we
specific.
can cross it out, that's all I want to do. I want to make sure there's theft. Did I steal something from you?
Don't recall you stealing anything from me. Not that
Did I
there's much to
did I
steal.
desecrate any graves?
Yeah, I don't think you're a Satanist.
Did I commit institutional vandalism?
I don't even know what that means, but I don't
When
think so.
institutional probably like spray painting.
Oh,
Ryan
like
is
graffiti or
a
something like that.
has cerebral palsy, and he's a K. It rhymes with a hunt.
Assault or drive-by shooting.
Or lastly, assault or drive-by shooting.
No,
All
no,
right,
you never shot
so
at me.
those are the things. That's it. So what we've got potentially is terrorizing. So what I think might be helpful. So Louisiana statute definition, and I have no idea if that's going to work actually, of terrorizing.
I mean,
Um,
really, there were other actions that happened in the videos that I have.
yeah,
Those were,
I'm just concerned about the hate crimes because remember you said
uh,
you've said that for years, that
well, there were a
I
lot of
committed
them
a
to me,
hate crime, so much so that you needed to call the State Bar of California, right?
which, by the way, I never did.
Okay, well that's fortunate. I'm glad you didn't because I remember I told you it's a misdemeanor. If
Well,
if if they decided to pursue, well, when you call somebody for you have a problem with a California attorney, it generally happens related to the practice of law.
yeah, I'm familiar.
And
I
so
again,
when
I never
when you
contacted
say
California.
Rob Reed called me a rhymes with hunt, what did you think the state bar would do? Would they think that that was a crime of moral turpitude, like equivalent to driving under the influence of alcohol?
Well, that would be for their determination. I
But
suppose also I do
you
wonder
think
how
it's reasonable?
California. I
You
do wonder how California would define a hate crime as well.
well, they'd be even more liberal for it, to be honest.
Oh, I know, I know.
So yeah, California would be even more liberal probably, but I don't think that the use of the word it was in bad taste. That would I would agree with the state bar if they said, Rob, that was in very bad taste. Shame on you. And I'd be like,
Hmm.
yeah,
I'm
but I
still
don't
here,
think
but I
they'd
need to.
say,
I'm
yeah.
listening to you. I just need to get myself a sip of water.
All right, good. Then I'll just keep pontificating. Then sorry, I'm taking over your stream. I didn't mean to. Louisiana statute definition of terrorizing. Let's just do that. Let's see. Uh,
I'm
yeah.
back.
All right. Hopefully my internet is appearing to be very slow.
Yeah, I'm struggle of the first world, right?
So and this was the I don't know if you heard in the chat. Did you watch the chat that I did with Bruce yesterday? We were responding to your video.
Bruce, where at his channel? No, I don't watch
Oh,
Bruce's.
okay, yeah. Because I made an offer. I said I'd love to talk to just one because you said plural that you were talk to criminal defense attorneys who were confirming for you that I was
I
in
don't
legal hot
recall saying
water.
that.
It's in the video you just made.
Well, Rob, look, it's for
Yeah.
me. It's pretty simple, dude. If the campaign is done, If the whole
But I just
thing,
want to, I want to, because the offer that I made is I wanted to talk with just one. Like if you said plural, so I wanted
yeah,
the
this is the
name.
first time I'm hearing about an offer of any kind.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
just did
know
it
I
last night,
versus
and
stream or whatever.
yeah, it was just last night, and I said I'd love to talk with just one of the criminal defense attorneys who has advised you that I'm in great legal jeopardy and in hot water, I think was your expression. And I'd like to know, talk with them specifically because you had said it was a hate crime, and so I've read the statute,
Well,
and that's the thing they said there was
I'll
a hate.
say maybe I will say it this way.
Yeah.
Maybe that person was incorrect, and I'm not saying they were per
Here we go
se.
though. We've got something though. This is good. It's terrorizing 40.1. Let's see here.
40.1 in
Yeah,
the Louisiana statutes.
yeah. I'm going to share. Here it is.
Okay.
Terrorizing.
Can you blow that up? I can't hardly see it.
Let's see here. Blame them. It's probably as big as it gets, but I'll read it.
Well, fair enough.
Terrorizing
I
is
can
the
blow up my
intent.
end.
Terrorizing
Whereas
is
the
the
intent of
intentional.
communication of information that the commission of a crime or of violence is imminent or in progress, or that a
Uh-huh.
circumstance dangerous to human life exists or is about to exist, et cetera,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera,
Yeah.
and it goes on.
Yeah.
So I
So
don't know if
did
that
I?
would apply
When
either.
I called you a rhymes with Hunt with a K, were you in fear for your safety?
To a certain end, I did wonder if I was safe, considering some of the actions that resulted from that.
Well, but I mean at the time, because the actions resulted because then you said you were going to call the state bar, and since I'm an attorney, do you think that I'd be able to practice law if your call to the state bar put my license in jeopardy or
Well,
suspended
no
it?
attorney. If the bar suspends your license, no attorney can
Yeah,
practice.
yeah. So you when you went out of your way to even suggest that you would do that, do you think that would
I
cause me
said I could.
problems with you? Well,
I said
sure you
could,
could,
but
and
again,
I've told you already. I've told you that it would have been a ridiculous thing, and it's true. It would have been. So I wasn't in fear. I wasn't in fear for that there was going to be any problem. In fact, I just wanted to make sure that you knew, for your sake, that
uh-huh.
filing a false state bar claim against someone, if they were to go through any amount of trouble, including to interview me regarding calling you a Hunt with a K on YouTube in a non-legal situation where I didn't even represent you in anything, we had no attorney-client relationship, that there was nothing that was going to come out of that other than the potential for me that if it cost me money in my defense at all, for instance, any hour that I would have to be spending trying to talk to the state bar related to any phone call that you would make, that would be, my hourly fee. And then I'd have an actionable case against you, and then be able to sue you
Well,
under
yeah, I'm
the
aware of
misdemeanor
that.
statute. So I was trying to save you from that, and so I'm glad that you didn't. I mean, in the end, even if you did, I never heard from the state bar.
Well, I never called.
Now that takes us, I guess, to the criminal complaint threat. Now you had said starting, and I believe it was November of 2021, that filing a criminal complaint against me was imminent for calling you a rhymes with Hunt with a
Well, it
K.
was not for calling me that. It was for inciting other people and giving legal advice from your law office that it was okay to
That's good. That's good. All right, so I
do.
like that. So what proof do you have of that?
Again, that's all in streams that are probably buried in my archive. I'd have
Where
to pull them all out.
where I gave legal advice to a British national and someone who lived in another state about
Someone
how they could handle your situation. I was telling
you did
in a
distinctly
public
say you would represent them.
in a
You did,
public chat. All right, so I said I
did
would.
you not say that it was not a crime? It was just an expression of their First Amendment in terms
Well,
of
the
it's like
First
birth
Amendment
control?
doesn't apply to England, so I would not have said that because the First Amendment is a protection against government intrusion on our right, for instance, to free
Yeah,
speech.
about legalization.
YouTube can infringe our free speech. You could infringe my free speech. You could mute me right now. You could take me out of the stream, and I would
Well,
have
I'm not going
no
to do that.
cause of action. So back to the criminal complaint. So we're talking. You were going to file a criminal complaint because you have evidence that I was giving legal advice regarding the First Amendment to 2 British nationals and someone that lived in another state. I mean, for Bruce, I guess it would apply.
Mm-hmm.
But you have video in your 7 gigs of 70 gigs.
Between all the videos and screenshots,
You have 70 gigs of material of me doing of harassing you.
Different people, not just it. You are in some of that content.
Wow.
You are not all of the content.
70 gigs. How do you keep track of that? Like, did you keep some kind of filing system?
No comment.
All right. Well, because I'm just saying, like, that's curious though. Let me get calculated.
Video files get pretty big. I'll say that much.
Yeah, for sure. So let's say if calculator. So you said 70 gigs. So 70 gigs is like billion. Are we in billion? I forget with gigs.
Giga.
No, it's just million, right?
Giga, I think is, it's after megabyte, I think.
Let me see. How many bytes is 70 gigabytes? I just want to make sure I'm accurate. 7E plus 10. They don't even have a. All right, so they got 75 billion 161,927,680 bytes. All right, so I'm going to take that. So I'm going to put that in the calculator, and I'm going to say let's divide it by, I don't know, an average of 300. What would that be?
Excuse me.
That's all right. So that'd be like having 250 300 megabyte videos. 250.
I mean, I can't say exactly the file size of every video.
That's a lot of video, but I hope that you've categorized that. So 250. That's doable though. I think you could categorize.
Mind you, we're talking about streams and some videos that I remember off the top of my head that occurred on 3 different channels. Some of them were 2, 3, 4, 5 hours long.
All right. Well,
multiplied probably 10, 20 times in some instances.
Here's some free legal advice. This is what I'm going to do too, like, because I want to help you not look silly in the future too. If you ever want to make threats to somebody else. Now, a criminal complaint. Do you know who files the criminal complaint? I've tried to explain this to you before, but maybe you didn't see those videos too.
Again, I don't always watch. I mean,
your criminal defense attorney should have told you.
I don't watch the content on YouTube like people think that I do.
All right. Well, when you the people that file, have you ever seen a criminal complaint? You've heard of them? Like, have you ever heard? Did you see the movie The People versus Larry Flint?
Maybe I don't.
It's a great movie related to the First Amendment.
I've heard of it. I don't know. I'm not a movie watcher. Really.
All right. Well, the reason it was called The People versus Larry Flint is that when he was being convicted of a crime. In this case, it was pornography, violation of the obscenity statutes which were criminal. Okay. And when that happens, what happens first is somebody has to, and I think it might have been Falwell, might have been one of those guys who filed a police report and said, this magazine is available at my local liquor store.
I remember reading about this. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
All right, so you file a police report first, and then the police department looks at it and they go, is this like, because you could get a crazy person, coming in saying,
any old body can make a police.
Any old body, can just come in and say, Rob Reed, he looked at me in such a way that I was super scared, or he smelled, and I think that it was an egregious act. It smelled so bad. He farted on a bus in the courtroom, and I want him arrested for. He
threatened to throw his gout at me, and I felt offended and threatened.
Yeah, he farted in a courtroom, and it disrupted the peace. And I'm filing a police report. And then the police go, okay. Well, and I'm telling you, so this will help you. And then they look at this report.
I'm somewhat familiar with it.
And then they say, they go, Is this something that we think we should forward on to the district attorney? Now,
Yeah, I'm familiar with
many
that.
cases they don't do that. They won't forward it on,
Well, no, because of whatever reason, insufficient evidence, they don't think it's worth
or it's
pursuing.
just like silly,
Well,
like
yeah, it's just silly. Like
somebody
some,
said Rob Reed called me a rhymes with Hunt, and I want to get him for a hate crime, right? Kind of the same thing. But anyway, so
in your opinion.
when okay, well, we just looked at the statute, Ryan. Did you want to look at the California one in case you wanted to go in
Well,
California?
I don't really want to look at statutes, Rob. I mean, this is
Well, I'm
for
just
me.
telling
This
you.
is
I think it's important that I'm calling you on your crap, right? And I'm
well,
trying to impress upon you that I wasn't the problem here.
initially, no. I will agree with
There's no initial. I was never the problem here. And I tried to ignore you for a number of months. And then
uh-huh.
you started to step on some other people, and I just simply called you. I said, "Yeah, this is you had proven based on what you had said
So
about me, which was a
whose
flat out
whose
lie, Ryan.
whose
When you
idea was it then to do
yes,
that stream on October 31st of 2021?
it wasn't mine. We'll start there, so I can say it was not mine definitively. And two, whose channel was it on, Ryan?
I believe it was what was called at the time Good News Gospel Streaming.
Right. So what? Have you ever seen me start a stream on Good News Gospel?
I mean, Rob, you're trying to back me in the corner with questions. I understand this. I mean,
No,
honestly,
I'm asking you because you're saying you're making the beyond an insinuation that I was the one that dictated that this chat happen at all, right?
no, that's not what I'm thinking or
But that
saying.
is what you've said before, and that is what you just were alluding to. I don't know what else you were alluding to when you say,
I
you
mean,
know, and
well, look, I'll say this. I may have said it in the past. I can't quite remember because I don't have all those videos in front of me.
all right, but so you think you might have videos that would help to prove that I am the one responsible for that chat happening?
No, that's not what I said.
Okay.
No,
See,
that's not what I said. What I said is that I may have made the statement you just said,
all right.
but I don't have that particular set of
Well, you
videos.
have said though. You've said that I have told people to do these things against you. You've made comments related to that numerous times.
Well, I have streams, but I mean, at this point, Rob, I don't really
All right.
care.
Well, that's good. No, but I want to know because I would hate to have done that to you, and I would apologize, and it would be worthy of apology if I said, "Bill, go out there and go get Ryan." And what I do want, because you would actually be a good character witness for me in that claim, interestingly enough, the number of emails that you sent to me regarding various people, did I ever tell you what advice, if you can recall, and I can actually call, I still have the emails.
Let's
What
see.
advice did I give you? Did I ever tell you, you should make hate videos against Bill, you should attack him?
No, no. Well,
Did I direct, since you believe that I direct,
Germane to the specific instance I think you're referencing, you didn't direct me per se to
well,
do
per se
anything.
you said, so how about indirectly?
No, I don't recall you directing me or directly or directly or indirectly doing either of those actions
That would
against.
be a truthful statement. In fact, in almost every situation, I told you to pray for him.
Pretty much. In fact, I seem to remember getting a voicemail, something to the effect of "There's not a lot you can do,"
Yeah, and so yeah,
and
we had,
that
right,
was what, like, I don't know,
and that
$19.80.
if you ignored it, it probably will go away. Right. That's
Well,
usually the advice I
unfortunately,
give.
it didn't. And I
Well,
mean,
you didn't ignore it,
how
and
can you
so
possibly ignore? Well, I will say this much: should I have ignored it? I mean, in
sure.
retrospect, yeah.
In the same way that I ignored you saying to Bruce in your attack video to him in August of 2021 that I was using him as a spy. In other words, you threw me under the bus in order to attack Bruce with a lie.
I will say it this way: it seemed that way. Is that the case? I'm willing to say no. I don't know.
Or well, why would you say it seemed that way? That I used Bruce as a
Well,
spy? Like, give
I
me
mean,
one example.
think
Like, in
about it.
what way did I?
Well, think about it this way: you
Okay.
have a gaggle of people, and I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we're naming names, so I might as well say their names. Bill, Thick Shades, Andy
Mm-hmm.
was there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I think you and Bruce were in the chat, not on the stream.
Okay.
If I remember definitively on the stream itself, talking about
Mm-hmm.
what happens in October. It was
Mm-hmm.
Bill and Andy, I know definitively. Maybe Thicky was in there. I know he came in at some point. I'd have to pull that thing up, and I'm not interested in doing that.
Mm-hmm.
That dog piled into another stream on Bruce's channel where there's all this stuff going on, all these attacks going on. He's a potato, pedophile, pet, all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Can you understand in seeing all this come up out of seemingly nowhere, how one could draw certain conclusions based on what they are seeing?
Not as related to me because I never attacked you, Brian. I think the only thing
Hey,
I did
sir,
for
well,
I
I will.
called you Brian when I first was introduced to you, which was in a Thick Shades chat. I
I
kept because
remember that.
I thought you were kind of smug, so I was the one that kept calling you Brian, even though
No,
you
I
said
remember that.
my name's Ryan, and I kept going, okay, Brian.
I remember that. That was like what, 2018, something like that,
It might have been 17, might have even been 16. When did
17
you
or
first
18.
come in? I don't know.
Well,
When
my
would you have been
original.
on good terms with Thick Shades?
Well, I didn't even know the guy. To be honest with you, I
All right.
just met him through Bill. I didn't know anything about anything of these guys at that time.
All right.
Like I didn't even know about the Mandela stuff. That was complete news to me. So I just meet these guys, and then all I know is I come on Sam's stream. He makes the comment that I remember. Oh, look, it's Reb Reed. He's a lawyer. I made a joke, which was I overstand you, if you remember, and that was that. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
really
and that was fine. I didn't take umbrage with that. But so yeah, so that's where I was first introduced to you. But that would be the only time that I would have like chided you before. At least I think before that moment. I'm sorry, before Halloween, I should say 2021 is that moment.
that I could say directly.
Maybe not. Maybe I'd said some other stuff about you before. It could be that Bruce and I were talking about we may have spoken about you accusing me of using him as a spy. But let's get off that one because the one that's more recent is, and I think in the last couple days, I think in fact yesterday or whenever you made the most recent video, you said that I was Bruce's handler.
Certainly,
What does
that?
what does that mean? I don't even know what that means.
I will say it this way.
Like his pimp?
His pimp.
Well, I don't
I'm
understand
sorry.
what that means because
No,
we live like
you have me
3,000
laughing.
plus miles away,
No,
right?
you have me laughing because now I'm picturing you out on like I don't know.
Well, Basement Dwellers has photoshopped me in a pimp outfit, I think, if memory serves.
And I do want to be equivocal. I don't know why people keep saying I'm basement dweller.
I don't know a single person who has said you're a basement dweller.
I have some comments.
Not me, not Bruce.
No. I'm not saying you. I'm saying I have comments.
But you mentioned that in your most recent video too, and you mentioned it directed towards Bruce, and I'm like,
well then,
dude,
I should clarify then.
Nobody I know thinks you're a basement dweller.
Well,
I don't even think you could reach those levels.
No,
Basement dwellers is trash,
as
trashy as it gets.
I'll say it this way.
Yes.
I'll be more precise then. I do have comments screenshotted somewhere that people have said that. And
said that you were basement dweller?
Yes.
All right. If I had ever said that, I would have been saying it in jest.
Maybe
there's no way that I think that you're basement dweller, and I would have never alluded to it believing that to be true, for sure. But back to the handler thing. What does handler mean?
How do I put this? I mean, you still have me laughing with the pimp comment because of the mental image, but
yes,
it would appear, or at least I could make the argument that it seems like whenever Bruce does something, or whenever certain things were said, streams came down, streams did not come down, certain things were said, then suddenly either those streams vanished, or no, don't say that anymore, and suddenly it wasn't said. At this point, maybe it's more accurate just to say friend. I mean, I don't honestly know the depth of interactions, nor do I care about you and Bruce.
So when I gave you advice, though, as we've talked about already, and you remember where I said pray for him and
the advice in
and trying to
so?
and trying to ignore him, right? Would you
you're
say
talking about the advice in 2019 or something?
Yeah, that I gave you. Would you qualify that as having handled you?
I qualify that as advice.
Right. And so what you just said sounds the same thing. So I think you just said that to be disparaging, right? Could we agree
No,
with that
I
rather
wasn't.
than
Honestly,
any
I'm not
form of
trying to.
truth?
Will say no. I'm not trying to be disparaging per se, Rob. And like
I think
I'll
it's
say,
disparaging if you say I use somebody as a spy, and if I
okay, well,
handle them,
you know what?
that
Then
means I
fine.
use him, right?
I am willing to retract that comment.
I appreciate that. But do you understand when you make those kind of comments, particularly in public chat rooms, which could
It's
qualify
inflammatory.
as being false, it would qualify as defamation, right?
It
That
could, yeah,
I
no,
would, but you remember what I said, because look, you
I
have
do.
24 subscribers now, right? And you remember what I've said about defamation, and do you remember one of the elements of defamation that is required for really to be actionable? Do you remember you remember the word
Sure.
publication?
Yeah, you can remind me. I'm sure I'm
I'm
not.
just saying, like, so if somebody has like 60 views on a video where they say that I handle somebody, or even 500 views, but in a little small circle, and they've got 20, 20 some odd subscribers, it's not really worth pursuing. In
Well,
other
no,
words,
and
it's
nor
not going
was
to go, it's not
it.
going to appear on Good Morning America on
Well,
ABC that
no,
Rob Reed
no,
is the
it's
handler of
well, and I
Bruce.
mean, in that respect, why do you think I don't care about GY6 making all these videos? Like the
Right,
guy cranks out 5 billion videos every day
right.
of clips that have been taken out of context.
Hmm.
It's like, yeah, okay, unless he's piping this over to somewhere, and even then, I don't care. I
Hmm.
mean, we've been out on YouTube for how long now? It's been like what, 8 years for me,
Well,
probably
I've been
longer.
on a long time. I've been on almost since the beginning.
What about like oh 06, 7, or 8,
I
somewhere in
came
there?
in February of 2006.
Oh wow, I was still in middle school.
So wow, see, jeez Louise, Ryan, now you're making me feel old. Well, I mean
Well,
that's
this
what I'll
will.
say too. That's why I say it also is somewhat offensive. That I mean, look, you can think I'm dumb, and that's totally fine, and
Well,
you
I mean,
probably be right. But as it relates to you knowing more about law than I do, so if you were in
no,
middle
I
school,
don't know. I don't claim that.
if you were in middle school, all right, Ryan, let's just say this: if you were in middle school when I started YouTube in February 2006, do you remember? I'm sure you might have looked it up. When I passed the bar and I actually took my oath and became a lawyer. Do you know? Do you have a guess?
I don't remember that.
It was
Remember. I can remember you saying roughly when you attended law school from a
yeah,
stream
yeah.
somewhere.
Let's just
I
put it
don't
this way.
remember necessarily when
How,
you said you passed the bar.
how old were you on December 13th, 1995?
I would have been like 2 years old.
Okay, so
You said December 13th?
yes.
Actually, I would have been just under 2 years old.
Okay, that is the day that I made my first court appearance.
Good for you.
Well, the reason I say that is that when you challenge me on law issues, I have been an attorney since you were in diapers.
I'm aware of that.
Okay. I just want to say that maybe that be the wrong tree to bark at.
Well, I mean, again, I've met quite a few attorneys that have been practicing for a long time that are pretty ignorant. But that's not
Like
all.
to the point where it would be like they do something in a public chat room and that would put their license at risk.
I've met some of them. You'd be surprised.
Like what? Give me one example.
I mean, I don't see the point in giving the example. And
Okay.
it would be more,
We'll
it
just
would be
let
the
that
more
go.
so
We'll
the
just let it go.
equivalent.
We'll just let it go. You've seen it. All right, that's fine. So Ryan, what now it went from videos to community tab posts. What is it that you would like for me to remove? I can decide. I may not. I don't
Well,
think there's anything out there
I'll put it,
community tab wise that people would see.
well, the only one I would perhaps ask is the one, well, the two that could come to mind is the private message that I had sent you, the one you talked about earlier. That would be okay in my mind. The second one,
Is that offensive to? Let me. I don't even. Do you have a link for it?
I'd have to go looking for it. It
Because
was the
I
one you
don't
were
even
talking.
know where I would find it. If I go on my
Well,
community tab right now,
if I can find it, I can send it to you. How about that?
send me the link. I'll take a look at that. Now, what else?
The only other one was when I tried to. I'll put it this way: when I called you that day, if you remember, this was pretty recent.
Which
The,
day?
this would have been
I don't
probably.
remember getting a. Oh, I do remember getting a call from you fairly
It
recently,
was
and I
in May.
ignored it.
Well, and I know that. I'll put it this way: when
Yeah.
you have the problem of that for just appearing on a panel with me, certain people would get upset at that. So what do I do? Well, if he comes on a panel with me under certain circumstances, as they were at the moment, or that time, I should say, that's probably going to cause problems for you and for me, right?
I don't see why. What do you mean? Like what was the situation? Like if so, you're saying you called me privately because you thought
Well,
this
the
event
idea
right
was,
now is going to upset Bill.
I don't know if you cut out on my end. Are you still there?
Hello, can you hear me? It's showing that my sound is working.
Uh oh. You
Hello?
there? Oh, there you are.
Yeah, it's showing that my sound was working.
Oh, sometimes it does that on my end. I have the bestest internet connection ever.
No, that's okay. So yeah, so you're thinking that like they would be up because I don't think any would be upset with me in this chat right now.
No, I'm not talking about right now. I'm talking about at that time. Either way, I mean, honestly, Rob, where I stand with it now is we both got involved in something that we should not. We both made comments that we should not. And if we can just leave it alone, then I'm fine.
I have been doing that, Ryan, for it feels like at least over a year. Like I did the what did I do? I did the and I just didn't have time to keep doing. I think I did it for 3 days. The criminal complaint watch. Did I finish? I didn't get
I
to
have.
finish that. I didn't get to finish that though, by
I
the way.
honestly don't. I
So
mean, I'll
did I
give you a
finish that? Do you understand how
no,
that
no.
works now?
I'll give you a hint on how little I know of what's going on.
Yeah,
You did this whole Bible in a Year series, right?
I'm still doing it. Yeah.
No, and I know that. I had no idea you were doing it.
Hmm.
I mean, literally, I had no idea until I looked. I was watching some other video, and for some reason, YouTube popped up your channel in, I think, I don't know, the recommended lists.
Oh,
And I
cool.
don't even go to your channel half the time. I'm like, oh, well, look at that. He's doing a Bible study. Good for him, I guess.
Yeah, it was day 164 today. One of the few times I've, at least the longest I have ever abided by a New Year's resolution. So
Well, good for you.
I'm happy with it. It's been very good. My
I
relationship
did
with
want.
God.
I mean, I did want to ask you if we're talking, and I guess I'll say his name. Praise made a
Hmm.
comment to me, and I don't know if this is true or untrue.
Okay.
That I was on a stream where they were talking about limited tone. This probably would have been 2 to 4 months ago.
Okay.
I think I left. Now, supposedly, you came in and started hollering and screaming about being excommunicated from some church somewhere. Was that accurate or was that incorrect?
Totally incorrect.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought because I figured if
Who
something
said
like
that?
praise. Now he
He
could be
wouldn't have
wrong.
said that I hollered.
I'm being a little.
I told them, I guess in a public chat, that at the church that I was at where I led worship, I felt that I was being they had a youth movement, and that
Was that the Lutheran one?
yeah, but it wasn't really Lutheran. I mean, it was Lutheran, but it became Lifehouse, which still had a Lutheran foundation,
Oh yeah, I know you
and then a
talking.
new pastor came in who is not Lutheran affiliated, and he's 40 years old, and he brought a 28-year-old worship leader, and there's very good, very talented, but they didn't see my music, for instance. Like I write music, and it's a little silly if I lead worship at a church and my music isn't in their vision. So
Yeah, I
in
could
in the
see that.
end, yeah, in the end I left amicably, and I said because God had opened two doors for me. So I'll tell you, I don't mind telling you. I don't have any animosity. I left just fine with the people. I said because I think God is doing great things at the house. The church is now called the house.
What
When I was
I
at
bless you.
Lifehouse,
Oh,
Lifehouse is now called the house, and God, if you go there, it's wonderful. What I loved most about it was very young, and it
mm.
was as diverse as you possibly could get, which was far from what our church was before that. So I loved what God was doing there. I wanted to be a part of it, but God has me serving in worship,
Well, yeah, I can.
and and
I mean,
so
I've been in. I've not been in that situation, but I've been in similar situations before.
God opened two doors for me. So we that our church, my pastor retired. That's why all this stuff ended up happening.
What
And
was
in the
that? The
process,
name that fell off?
we had just left the ELCA. Because of their liberalism, it got really ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so God opened two doors for me, notwithstanding that. So the pastor retired, and the two doors that he opened for me was another Lutheran church that was ELCA affiliated, that
Hmm.
offered me fair money as well. And I
Hmm.
thought, and then there was Calvary Chapel Malibu, and
Right.
They didn't offer me anything. And I said, God, where do you want me to go here? And every sign pointed to the one where we're building a church because they lost a lot of people from COVID, and I'm loving every moment of it. So I'm now the worship leader at Calvary Chapel, Malibu.
I think I had saw something about that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, cool
Yeah.
deal for you. We got a Calvary Chapel, I think a few years ago. I'd never been to one. In all the time I was Pentecostal, they never existed over here, so that really wasn't an option. But good for you, I suppose.
Yeah, they're not Pentecostal. I mean, if anything, although
Charismatic.
there's some aspects of it, but they're not. I mean, like
Well, the
Chuck Smith,
continuation.
Lonnie Frisbee was, and then
Well,
Lonnie
I'm
Frisbee,
very familiar.
yeah, and then he did the Vineyard thing, and then they went super charismatic. But
Well, and
Chuck
even they
Smith,
kicked him out.
yeah, Chuck Smith wasn't
He
particularly
was.
charismatic. A little bit.
He's more of a continuationist.
What I love about them, at least my Pastor Brian, is that their focus is very Bible centric, and so we don't get uh, you know sex sermon, like why sex is great sermons or something similar to that. Instead, we're dealing with modern issue. Instead, we're just studying right now the book of John. And one of the other things that was great from this opportunity is I got an opportunity to preach, which there's no way at the house that I would have been given that opportunity. So I've been at this church for 2 months, the new one, and I've already preached, and I'm leading worship there. So God is good.
I'll
God has
say
done
it this
great
way.
things there.
I
Yes.
remember you being at Lifehouse for quite some time.
It's the only church I've ever belonged to. It just changed names. So this was
Well, I
a
was gonna say,
huge
I
this
don't
was a
remember.
huge move for me.
I remember you interviewing. I think his name was Dana. I think he might have been the pastor.
That's my pastor. Yeah, he's retired. He moved to Tennessee.
Right. I can remember you interviewing him. I can't remember you ever preaching. I can remember musical
Well,
performances.
I preached at Lifehouse 3 times.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
One I posted one, I think, on my Lift the Loft thing, but it's not like it wasn't video; it was just audio. But
Okay.
I preached on John 1:35 to 41, I think, which was nice. It's the point where Jesus first calls the disciples. Andrew and the unnamed one was probably John, and he turns to them and he says, "What do you want?" I love that.
Well, which chapter is that again?
John 1.
Oh, right. John 1. Right. Okay.
The very first disciples that he calls, he's just kind of hanging out.
Right.
He's
That's
walking around.
Yeah. That's 1 about verses 30 to about 59.
35 to 41, yeah. And then he calls, we just did this last week. He calls Simon Peter in what I preached on, but who did he just call? I think Philip. I can't remember for sure. But anyway, that's what's going on in my life. So that's the only thing. To answer your question in the long way, if praise said I was angry or upset, I mean, there were a lot of emotions that were involved there, but I did not leave angry, and I made sure that there were no bridges burned, because they're brothers in Christ, and God is moving there. It's just God has me doing other things. This Calvary Chapel Malibu needed a worship leader, and there I was, and the door opened. So
Well, good
praise
for
God.
you. How old is AJ now? He must be
He's
nearly graduated from high school.
16 and a half. He's halfway done with high school.
Oh, wow. I can remember being 16 and a half and full of piss and vinegar.
He's amazing. He's got like a 4 overall GPA so far in his half of high school. It's pretty good.
Well, good for him, man. I'm glad to hear that.
Very proud of him. He's a good boy.
Well, good. Well, I mean, Rob, I'm content to leave things as they are.
Well, that's fine. Just send me the link. If there's any other video, the only videos that I know that I have up are the mountains and molehills. That was one where you said my wife wanted to leave me. She was pushing me away. That'd be funny to address though, because we can laugh at it, I hope.
Well,
you do realize that the video that you were alluding to, the only one I could figure out is when we were square dancing when we were setting up our Christmas tree. I need to get on cam for this too, because I'm smiling. So,
Yeah.
so what if you can remember? You said my wife was going to leave me. She finds me abhorrent. That may not be the word you used.
I'll say it
but
this
she was
way.
pushing me away.
I had a friend at the time, who is not a friend now, that claimed they also remembered that.
Paul?
I'm not going to say.
Okay.
I mean, at this point, I'm not. What's the point of it?
Well, okay, so you didn't see it. It's just somebody told you about it. That
Someone
my
told me, and
wife on camera, and I made the conscious
hold on.
decision.
Someone said that they
Yeah.
saw it. We thought we had both seen it. This person. Maybe we did. Maybe we didn't.
I thought I kept looking. So
Let's go.
you caused me to actually search through my videos. So I'm like, okay, we had started doing some live streams because of COVID, and so we were broadcasting. So I go, all right, when? Because you said that she pushed me away so she could get to AJ because she found me disgusting, something like that. And then, so I'm looking at every one of those things, and I'm like, when would AJ? Because AJ does sound, he did sound in slides and stuff, so he wouldn't have been on the stage with us. I thought, well, maybe when we say, he might have come up when we would say the Our Father, with the Lutheran roots, we do the Our Father, and I looked at every single moment where that could have happened, and it didn't happen in any of those. And I said, well, what was the other video where there would be AJ in? Because I don't put AJ on here. I don't put Marie generally.
Well, no, that's generally not a good idea.
Right. And so the only ones that I could figure out were the Christmas videos. And then that's when I made the joke commentary about what you must have seen. Because, in fact, you dated it. You said it was December of something. So it's a video. So I don't think it was a person who told you this. I think because you had a video, you made a statement on the day it was, and I found the video.
I remember the statement. I mean, at this point,
and so I was able to pinpoint exactly what you were talking about, which was the tree setup. And so I did this whole comedic thing of every moment when Marie was doing a rock step. We weren't square dancing. We were dancing the jive. Step. There's a rock step. She was going away, and then I'd bring her back in, and then push her away, and then there was a couple where she'd move around. And AJ joined in to dance too. You see, because I will say, and Shadow too was there. Our dog. Shadow, but she was defending my honor. I kept arguing that. It's a pretty funny video.
I will say this.
I don't want to delete that video because I want to watch that again sometime in like 10 years.
I will say this in fairness. Can you understand, though, that to a certain level, I don't have a proper understanding of body mechanics. And what may seem elementary to you, like you're talking about a rock step, I probably can't even do that.
Yeah, so but I mean, don't go there, Ryan. You've seen people dance the jive before, right?
Well, no, I'm actually serious. You may not understand. If I see someone do that, it may not register. Because to me, okay. I mean, I don't know. That looks like shoving to me. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I don't.
All right, do you mind if we spend a little looking at one of the videos?
I would prefer not, honestly.
All right. But it'd be funny.
Truthfully, Rob, I just want to put all this behind us and move on with our lives because I don't see the point in continuing with any of this.
Yeah, well, that would be fine. That's where I was until a couple days ago. Occasionally putting, the part where you were laughing. I found the video where the one where you were laughing and you said you're spastic. That was the video where you were, I guess I'd said something legal related, and you disagreed with it.
I think you had said something to you or someone, because I'm not going to.
And then you said you couldn't wait for Smokey's attorney to go after me.
In fairness, let me at least say this.
Yeah.
The whole Smokey Saint thing, looking back on it, I really do wish I had just walked away from the guy. I had that opportunity.
Well, you did, and then you went back like a dog to its own vomit.
I can only speak for myself.
Yes.
Smokey, and he'll probably do this when he comes back because the war drums have been beating for that. So what, But he had a very clever way of trying to iterate certain things. Of course, we all know how is he going to get around what everyone now knows. I mean, if you're not Smokey and you're not Kenny, then who the heck was in the Mecklenburg County Courthouse? If that's not you, then why did we all have that same phone number? There was also on a...
it's not even a debate anymore. I mean, Kenny, they were on a road trip together, and Kenny said it, and they did videos on the road trip.
They said it.
And this person that looked like him happened to be at the Mecklenburg County. It's not even. If they say anything, it's the same. Let's just say it would be very moronic if anyone would buy any excuse that they make, short of Josh having a doppelganger that he knows of, like he knows
Well, he did
personally,
claim that,
or a
and I
twin
mean, I'm
brother.
not going to.
The soap opera twin brother spin
Well,
could be
I'll
very
say. I
interesting.
mean, look, I don't even want to get involved with that
Oh,
or
okay.
those guys, but I'll say this much: they did claim that, and they did make a claim the other day, probably like 3 months ago, that they have a whole arc plan to disprove the whole thing. So you can probably imagine looking at this from the perspective of if this guy at the time
Mm-hmm.
was not Josh, and I'm running around saying he is Josh.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of friend is it to go run around doing that?
Yeah, the only thing that they could say is what he tried already. But there were, there's more information that when he made his last appearance was actually in a chat with me, where I had revealed some of the stuff that I knew.
Well, I mean, at one point I remember,
and then that was it. Then he was gone.
Well, at one point I remember I had, I think his prisoner ID number that someone had given me.
Yeah, well, I mean that was all public stuff. It was I don't know if it's prison ID as much as it might have been the case number, but it was.
From what I was told, it was a specific prisoner ID number. I mean, at this point, it's academic. Everybody knows. You're either going to accept that or you're not.
Right.
Oh, Bruce. I'm willing.
Well, he's not going to be as calm as I was, I don't think, because.
Well, no, and I mean, again, I'm not. I'm trying to address one person at a time, so this doesn't turn into some explosive, multi-hour praise I am style whatever.
No, this is good. I'm fine, but let me know. I may not delete that, but maybe I will. But I mean, it's the reason I wouldn't delete it is in the event that you come out again and say that I've gone on a hate campaign.
Well,
against you
at
for
this point, Rob,
10 years this time.
At this point, I just don't care about YouTube. Honestly, I would prefer to just walk away from YouTube and not deal with this stuff anymore.
Well, it can be aggravating, but the best thing to do is to not do things that would cause aggravation.
Well, that's
somebody calls you a name. The best thing to do is just kind of let it go.
Well, honestly, Bruce, I'm at that point.
Yeah,
I really do.
It's helpful, and it comes from experience, because I have not always been that good, and I failed even with you in that sense. But I did try. The long suffering lasted for me. It wasn't very long, about 3 months, because I never addressed the fact that you had said that about me. I just resolved that I was using Bruce as a spy. I just resolved it's no big whatever. I just don't have to deal with that guy. And that was what I was going to do.
I can also say that there could have been influence from another person that's no longer part of my life.
Well, discernment is something that I would say, Ryan, maybe you got to work on. That's all. If Smokey Saint was in your circle,
no, I haven't talked to him in 2 years.
I'm glad, but he was there. So
at one time.
So my prayer for you, as I say, if that's all right, that's a good way for us to close. Father, we thank you for the peace that surpasses all understanding. And we ask that all of us will be able to have better discernment regarding who we hang around here, so that we don't get ourselves into too much hot water. Thank you, Jesus, for what you've done for us. Thank you for this conversation that was mostly peaceful. And in Jesus' name we pray. We'll leave it at that. How's that?
All right. Well, thanks for coming by then, Rob. I guess I've got, an upset Blessed Bible Fight Club that wants to talk to me. So
why is he upset? I think you should just relax for a while and maybe set something up with Bruce. Have some deep breaths, and then maybe that.
Yeah, I can do this as soon as we're done. It's just, again, I don't want to have 2 or 3 or 5 people on a panel. Then it's this massive dogpile mess like so many streams turn into.
Okay. Well, we're done. Just let me know what that link is.
Yeah, I can let you know.
All right. God bless you, sir.
Yeah, you take care.
All right, you too. Bye.
And there